So we're going to open up a new composition. We're going to call this one Right On. Make sure it's 5 seconds long. Okay, so we want to make sure we have a 5-second composition, and then we want to make sure that we put in a new layer, and we're going to make this layer a layer solid, and we're going to make it a green color. Now basically this is so we have something to apply the writing to, because paint is an effect and it has to be applied to an existing layer. So now we have an existing layer that is green and there's nothing else happening. And now I'm going to go to the workspace paint. So window, workspace, paint. And you notice that we have now 2 windows open. The one that is on the right is the layer, and this is what we're going to be working in. So double click on the layer, the green solid, to open it in the layer palette or in the layer window. And now we're going to select the brush tool. It's in the upper middle of the bar. And we're going to look at the paint palette over here to the right. And this is where we're going to put in the settings we want. We want the opacity to be 100%, the flow to be 100%. We want the foreground color to be white and the stroke to be white. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to change this to white. White is number F, 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 F down here. And now I want to change the duration. So the duration is now going to be right on. The channels are RGBA, that's red, green, blue, and alpha. And the duration is right on. And now we're going to write the word word. So it will disappear as you're drawing it actually, but watch it. You go W, O, R, and D. Now I've got 2 lines each for R and D. If you can draw it with 1 line for the R and the D, that would be good, but it works. Press V to get the selection tool. Let's click on the default workspace. So window, workspace, default. If the default workspace doesn't look like this, you can go to window, workspace, and then reset default to save layout. So, and if you made any changes, it'll change. So it's a good thing I did that. Press the space bar to preview, and you see that all the letters draw on at the same time. This doesn't look like somebody's writing them, does it? What we want to do is we want to make it draw the letters one at a time. So to do that, we're going to go underneath the green solid, and we'll go under the effects. Remember, I told you it's an effect, and here you see the paint effect is right here, and there are dots showing you that there are keyframes here. Well, let's see what the keyframes are. So you see, underneath the green solid, under the effects, under paint, you see that we have separate little layers telling us that each of the times we made a mark, it was named brush. And it says paint on transparent. And we'll change that to on eventually, so it'll be on black. But let's leave it at the green right now. So here we are, and I'm going to press the U, so you can see there's the real keyframes. Otherwise, you're just seeing a dot telling you there's a keyframe here. It doesn't tell you where it is. And if I go out, you can see that every one of them writes on it at the same time. Well, we want the keyframes to be set up so that each one writes on one at a time. We've got 5 seconds, so we can have each one of them write on in 1 second. To make something last 1 second, you have to make the space between the keyframes be 1 second long. Now, since we have 6 brushes, actually, because I've got the last 2 letters are made up of more than 1 line, and those were the brush 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So brush 3, 4, 5, and 6, I'm going to make each one of them a ½ second long. So I'm going to go down to where it says 15, and I'm going to make each of these strokes a ½ second long. And now I'm going to line them up. So let's see, this is 1 second there. So okay, because they're all in the same layer, we can't use the bracket trick. So we have to drag each one of them to line up individually. So I'm going to drag brush 2 to line up. I'm going to line up this with the brush 2 last stroke. And then I'm going to line this one up. Now this is the ½ second one. Okay, now I'm going to Command S to save it. And you see they're in a stair step. I'm going to change the display up here so that it's paint on transparent. So I had to fly the little arrow down again. And now I'm going to press the space bar. So that's how you make it look like you're writing on a blackboard or on some other surface. And this is another good way to use the words in your piece. I'm going to save that. And that, my friends, is manually writing on. Make sure it's saved.